Thoughts on being here and being around town and just kind of getting the lay of the land?
Well, this first month is it's been a lot going on. We got pretty much the staff hired. I'm sure there'll be some announcements on Monday. Getting to know the people in the building, trying to get our systems in place, and then I'm trying to get to know the players that are around. So it's been a busy month.
Obviously done a little assessment. You let a couple guys go yesterday. Just thoughts on that?
Yeah, this is the time of year when that happens. I think every NFL team reshapes their roster each year, and so that's the beginning phase. And from here on out, we'll just keep doing the things we need to do to make us as good as we can be.
Would you say that your coaching staff is basically complete now?
I would say it's basically complete. And so, we'll pretty much announce all the guys, I think, early next week.
And as of the last time, we saw the list, you had not hired an offensive coordinator per se. Is it going to remain like that?
I think it's going to stay that way. I will actually take that role, and then we have quite a few very accomplished coaches on offense that will help.
You talk much with Colt McCoy, and is it more important that you do with the lockout looming?
I've reached out to Colt, and just like I would any new player. And again, as I mentioned in the original press conference, I got to know him through the evaluation process last year. But I have spoken to Colt, and it's just been basically welcome to town. I look forward to seeing you when you're here.
Are we right in assuming you're going to have a 4-3 defense?
Well, again, that's part of the roster shaping, and I think that'll become obvious.
Pat, how much of yesterday's moves were a product of getting younger, and what other factors went into those?
I think there's a lot of things that go into all the moves you make, and that's one way to look at it. But again, we're just trying to get the roster as good as we can get it moving into next season.
In terms of head coach and offensive coordinator, kind of a dual role for you,
sure.
Are you ever concerned that could be too much in your first year as a head coach?
I feel like we've hired a terrific staff, and everybody on the staff has roles and issues of the day, and so I feel really good about how we've structured things, and I think it's going to work well.
Was that the plan from the beginning, or did it just happen to work out that way?
We made an effort to hire the very best guys we could, and I think that's the way it shaped up this year.
How does the labor uncertainty play into what you guys are trying to get accomplished over the next few weeks at least?
Well, it's business as usual right now, and then obviously if something happens, we have a plan in place, and we'll execute it. But for right now, we're moving forward with calendars like we'll be playing ball.
Do you expect to have Colt in here in the next couple weeks before what would be the lockout and work with them at all?
Most of the players find their way back during this time of year, and so I would anticipate, I would think that he possibly be one of those players.
I saw something last week where, I don't know if it was a headline, where he actually supposedly said he's been told that he is the starting quarterback for next year. Is that, or going into training camp, is that correct?
I don't know if that's been the case, but it would be a logical assumption.
Why, we haven't talked to you since you hired Dick Duran. Why Dick? Have you known him a long time?
I've known Dick a long time, just in the profession. He and my uncle work together. I've got a great deal of respect for him, and I've really become close to him as you can at NFL functions, and then obviously got a high amount of respect for him as a person and a coach. So he's one of those guys that I want to be a part of this thing.
That Mike Holmgren said when he was a young coach, he really relied on your uncle, and he hopes you do the same with Dick. Do you view that as an asset that Dick can bring just his experience?
I think so. And again, as a head coach, what you want to try to do is hire guys that are extremely talented, dependable, and great people. And I think that's the case with Dick.
When you headed into the hiring process, did you know that you wanted to be your own offensive coordinator, or did it just evolve that way?
I think I know I was going to call the plays, and I think that's the key piece. As you go through the week, you put the plan together, and everybody in the room has input, and then I think that's the way to do it.
Is the whole transition to being the head coach, is it still real hectic? Have you been able to settle in at all?
Wow. Yes, no, maybe. I think what's been nice for me is nice, but not nice. You know, I miss my family not being here, but that allows me to work those extra hours, and there's been a lot to do. And again, the first real piece is to hire your staff, get the systems up and running, and we've done it.
Are you real excited about the staff that you've assembled, your first staff?
No question. I think you know, when it's seen in total, there's a lot of tremendous coaches, a lot of great experience, and what I think, you know, what I know to be great teachers, and I think that's the important thing.
What's it like to be on the other side of the hiring process? Normally you're the guy trying to hit one on somebody else, now these guys are coming.
Well, you learn a little bit from each guy you try to hire. What's interesting is there's a lot of people that wanted to come here and be a part of this. The organization, the tradition, the area, and so the hardest part is telling some very accomplished and very experienced guys no, and I think that's the hardest part of the process.
Can you confirm the guys you retained from last year's staff? Are there some assistants that are coming back?
We did. We retained George Warhop and Steve Hagan, Gary Brown, Jerome Henderson. That's been cool.
You sat down and talked to Josh about what you're